What is going on, everybody? We're back at another stream, another live. You know where you're at. You are at Spartans. You know where I am your host, the Spartan, aka Peter. How is everybody doing tonight? Tonight's subject is, I want to say, an interesting one. I came with the idea because I was talking to a couple of friends, and a couple of my friends say they feel like with today's world, we're more connected than ever. But I disagree with that. We are more connected, but we are more distant from each other. But obviously, we cannot do this by ourselves. We need to get my little helper in here. He's little, he's grouchy, he's grumpy. Of course, I'm talking about Baby Groot. Go ahead, speak.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is CBN Tector, aka Black David, aka
You've reached
Bear
your
Ball.
limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
Trust me,
You
man.
were pretty good to now. You were actually behaving for a while, but now
Yeah,
I got
but
the button now.
lately the baby it rubbed the wrong way. I am 47, far from a baby. I'm a granddad, but I'm not ancient. Like R Pain is ancient of day. He was there
Oh,
from the
leave
first created.
poor pain alone.
No, because everybody think I'm not that old. I am grumpy though. That is correct.
I can't take that away from you. You're actually very grumpy at times.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question because this is a conversation me and Paul had multiple times on the gray area, and he believes we are. Oh, hey Mariana, I send you the link, so join us when you're ready. We are more connected than ever now with social media, WhatsApp, Instagram, and all that jazz. I personally we're connected. I don't disagree with that, but we're also very disconnected. What's your opinion?
First and foremost, when it comes to social media was supposed to be something very effective, very influential, or useful. It ended up being totally the opposite. For first, without social media, everybody was a socialize. You was to meet
Hmm.
people in person. Yeah, you can call the person, you can text the person, but face-to-face interaction was very critical. I hear. Not a, not to conduct yourself either in an outing, in a setting, or in an interview, in a part, whatever. But what I'm seeing right now, I think it's not just social media that caused the major effect. I think the pandemic add to it as well. Because I won't consider it wide to put everything on social media alone. But if you look at what happened during the pandemic, everybody was locked in their home for how many years? Almost 2 years or 3 years. Is that correct?
Hmm.
So
I think it was 3 years total, if I'm not mistaken.
let's say 3 years total. 2 to 3, okay, 2 to 3 years. That's a lot of time for isolation.
Way too much time.
And here what I want to how I want to say it. I want to speak out to the people who were just mouthing off saying stupid things like, oh, they were comparing the pandemic to the No King protest. This was a global issue. It was no national issue. It was a medical issue that people were dropping like cockroach. And you're comparing the pandemic to the No King protest, which is ideology the most dumbest, more asinine, the most retarded compared to known to date, known to mankind, because they're not on the same level. So I want to make it good to clear. Because there was other nation like Italy, they were willing to hold people accountable. Because first and foremost, there was a epic center issue that was taking people out. No one had the cure at the time to suppress what was going on. And some dumbass reading, which is another reason why Twitter is not meant for everybody, but who don't have the wherewithal nor the knowledge behind what's going on and how dangerous it is. We say that you should prepare the thing. It's kind of like, no, but when you are locked in with no social interaction, not able to move around, and the only way you can communicate with social media after a while, it makes you numb. That's a major effect it has because after that, everybody when they came out, not or suddenly everybody don't really say too much in person. If they want to say anything to you in person, more on your phone, even though you're next to the person, don't feel like saying it about a text. So social media have a very unique mental impact in today's society in a very unique way. But I will not put all the blame on it alone. That I will tell you.
Okay. So here's the thing with my social media with me. All right. People, you might see their feeds and, what they've been up to. Like, good example today. You saw what I posted today, right? No. Little Alex, my dachshund, he was in the vet today. He had a really bad ear infection. So that gives you a little
Hmm.
update what's going on, right?
Okay.
So that gives you in a loop what's going on in my life, but it doesn't mean we're on the same page communicating, does it?
Not exactly. It depends on how much it makes you relate to the person.
Correct. Hang on one second. Okay, that's on your side. All right. So I was saying, so
Hmm.
social media has destroyed a lot of relationships, friendships, marriages, engagements, business, whatever you want to call it, because I'll take it back to the MySpace era. You remember MySpace era? You're
Don't remind me. Very, very detailed understanding what happened to the MySpace era on multiple levels.
so the MySpace era to me is an interesting era because if your girlfriend did not put you on number one or your boyfriend, you get fucking pissed off. Then on top of that, if you didn't post you're in a relationship, you get pissed off, right?
Here's the problem. MySpace was the foundation for generational me. If people don't understand what that means. There was social media platform long before MySpace, so people could be aware of. That was the first one, which I actually worked on. CollegeClub.com back in the late '90s and into the 2000s. College Club had another platform called HighSchoolClub.com. There were Black Planet, Majestic Planet, Asian Planet. There were other social media platforms that were popping up. Some lasted, some collapsed. Then when MySpace came to existence, there was a whole unique format.
Hmm.
Some of the format came originally from colorclub.com, and it was copying some other idea from other platforms and twisted to what they have at that time. It was a phenomenon. It was sold for, if I remember correctly, for almost $1 billion. Well,
MySpace.
close to that. Yeah, it was. The person who created it, MySpace, sold it to News Corp for almost $1 billion.
Yeah, I think his name was Jeff. I believe his first name.
Jeff something, I forgot his name. Because after he did that, YouTube was sold for $1.2 billion right after that, a few months later. I remember that because that was part of the internet boom.
Hmm.
And MySpace was a big deal. MySpace was almost replacing the cell phone and the beeper. Back then, before MySpace came to existence, everybody asked what's your cell phone and what's your beeper number. But when MySpace hit real heavy, people would ask what's your MySpace page. That was the number one communication portal for society at the time. But MySpace have a fatal flaw. It was not properly secure. People were being unalive through their MySpace due to multiple level of reason. But it did have an effect in the relationship dynamic whereby if you're not promoting yourself out there that you're in a relationship, when you are in a relationship, it looked like you're hiding something, so to speak. People were looking at people on MySpace and see to compare their lifestyle. This is where Instagram got that concept of, as well Facebook to a certain degree. So the lot that happened in MySpace that was a few good but a lot of bad. But it was the start of a generation whereby people would all follow themselves or all comparing themselves based on what they post on their MySpace page. Yet it helped a lot of other people who got into web design where they could figure out how to use like the platform and promote their skill set. But socially speaking, it became a cancer over the period of time. And that is factual.
So cancer. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it did turn into a cancer over time, not right away. It took a very small period of time to become cancer. If you agree with that, David?
Small period of time. I won't say it was small period of time, but I'll say during the initial launch, it took a less than a year for the effect to come to play. That I will tell you.
Hmm.
And that's how serious it is. It was a very serious issue. I'm not going to lie to anybody. But it was something you had to be very, very careful about, to be honest with you. You have to. If you weren't, then, man, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know. That's how critical it really was. Because let me pull it like this. A lot of, hmm, well, around the time I became the David Vine became the initial foundation for Instagram slash TikTok slash all the other platform out there with people to do video Vine. When my people were becoming very, very popular, you created a term called influencers. It started from there. And it started from my Instagram, it started from Facebook, it started from MySpace. And that grew over time. And some of these well-known influencers end up bouncing from one platform to another platform. The moment they know that MySpace was going down here, they figure out another platform to jump on and increase their popularity. But the way MySpace was operated, it was not very, very secure, it was not very, very safe. It had too many loopholes that people didn't know what was being exploited for.
Hmm.
Yes, a lot of people account were being hacked though. That's another aspect of it. Some people are being stalked in a very negative way, but it was very dangerous. That's another one too. So believe me, I've been aware, even though I have peers who used to go back and forth, we discussed about the functionality, what was done wrong, what could have been done better, why they didn't work on this, what could be the issues. A lot of it is on the security level. That could have been fixed, but they wasn't trying to fix it because first and foremost, the guy who created MySpace, when he sold it, News Corp don't know what they had in their hand. They were completely clueless. So if any blame was to go to anybody, it won't be to the creator, but be the person who purchased it. News Corp, aka the owner of Fox News. Ain't that ironic?
The guy from Fox owns it.
Yeah. See, this is why I say people never do their homework.
No,
News Corp.
I thought because that company
I
has
know.
been changed hands so many times. It's kind of hard to
No, but
track.
News Corp is the parent owner of MySpace at that time, as well as Fox News and every other Fox affiliate. That and also it owned Tubi. Just so you guys understand and know what I'm talking about. This is why people need to start doing their homework and start connecting the dots. They purchased something which they have no clue how it operates and how to maintain it. This is why I'm not a fan of people buying companies. They want to acquire the technology and everything, but you don't have the brain to understand it. That's an issue.
Hmm.
I'll give you a perfect example. I got no shit to nobody, but all the billionaire all from the Middle East, all they want to start buying gaming companies, want to start buying soccer clubs, right? And I heard a particular story, I'm not sure it's true, but one of the prominent European soccer player who had a number seven, the story that were putting out there that the sheik, the billionaire sheik, want to buy this man number and give it to his son. But there was a number this man had been wearing on multiple clubs that he had played for and for the national team that he played for in Europe. For Spain, I believe, yeah. You ask the man to sell you his number that he built over time. He built his legacy. Like a legacy is easy to buy. And that just let me realize some people are extremely clueless. Extremely clueless. You think you can go to a Betty Pella, the icon of icon, and come to soccer and say, I want to buy your number? Can you go to Michael Jordan and tell him, I'm going to buy a number for you? I want to give it to my son, number 23. You got to ask the man. You have to fill his, you have to fill that shoe to be able to give it the right to wear that number. You can't just get a number to just
David, hang
anybody.
on 1 second. Let's get her in here.
Okay.
Ching chang, walla walla bang bang. Ching chang, walla walla bang bang.
Ay, ay, ay.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Dave, finish and I'll get Mariana next. Go ahead.
So I'll give you an example. So to have somebody who purchased a massive social media platform with no clue what to do with it or how to manage it, how to operate. Just because you have the money doesn't mean you have the knowledge or the wherewithal how to run. It's like saying, I built the ultimate car and want to buy it from me, but you don't know how to use it and you destroy it in less than a year. You're gonna tell me with a cheap creation. No, it wasn't a cheap creation. It was a solid creation. Just like you were a cheap ass. You don't know what the hell you were doing. You try to skip multiple steps without even doing your homework first before you even indulge in it. This is the society we live in right now. How you know that no one want to buy Facebook or buy any other platform and say, no, let me do it. No, if you don't have the time to invest to understand something, don't just buy it and think it's not gonna be a black stain on your record. There was News Corp was hoping nobody knows about it. A lot of people got unalive because of MySpace, which was under News Corp watch, aka Fox News. So I'll go keep on reminding people. I don't trust Fox. No, nothing that come out of their mouth. Never had, never will. Always ahead of the game. Everybody else want to be monkey see, monkey
David,
do.
let's get off the
No,
news thing. You know how I
I
feel
know.
about that.
I'm not being
Move on.
political. I
Move
know.
on.
No, but I'm not being political. There was something that was critical. This created a chain that a lot of social media companies either they learned the mistake or they did not learn the mistake. MySpace was an experiment that everybody had to learn. If you want to build a social media platform, what are the do's and don'ts concerning running a social media platform? If you understand what I'm saying. Why it's very critical to make sure your social media platform is not a cancer to society. And then when you know you screwed up, instead of you holding yourself accountable, you kind of sell it off real quickly. You wasted about almost $1 billion trying to purchase it, and you're trying to run it. You after you screw up and you sold it for 30 million to a musician.
All right. Let's get Mariana in here. Mariana, what's your do you feel social media kind of destroys, us being socialized, but we're still connected at the same time?
Um, it's a toss up between a yes and a no. I'm not gonna say everything is all bad. And there's some positive. The only thing you have to use it very wisely. Um, for social media, I mean, more like, let's say, like this, for instance, we use it as a platform to talk our opinions, which is, good, or doing news, or doing, showing how to do something, um, like home improvements, or how to make, I don't know, lasagna, whatever the case is. Um, Without social media, I don't think we able to get this far, to be quite honest. But then there's the cons. Sometimes people go behind the scenes. You could be on social media, but you don't need to show your face. But then you also have, especially with parents with children, that they do stuff without supervise, and then you have somebody that is like, what is this child associated with it? Like, do you know this person? You don't meet this person. You hear cases that that they want to meet this person. You find out this person is a you know is
Catfishing.
uh something, that the last thing the child is get, be abducted, whatever it is, get kidnapped. So it's kind of scary. I say there's pros and cons of socializing social media, but also kids, parents need to watch be wa- you know I be watchful for their kids. It's very scary in this world now. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter if it's on Facebook. It doesn't matter if it's Snapchat or Instagram. I mean, it's getting really carried away, I will say. It wasn't like that in our generation. We were growing up. I mean, I
It's
remember
funny you say that,
AOL.
Mariana. It's funny because
What?
I have a video I want to play right now because you're just
Okay.
mentioning that. So I want to get the video up and running
Okay.
and watch this video, and then let's get back to what you were saying. All right.
Okay.
Red flag if he doesn't have social media.
I don't know. I feel like I would want to ask the question why they don't, because I feel like it's very common to have at least one social media platform, but I don't really think I think it's like a neutral for me.
Not at all. I would also want to know why. Like if he has like a low follower count, like that would be like okay.
I feel like it's not really a red flag or like even anything good, because I feel like that's kind of weird, because like I feel like everyone nowadays does have a platform like that. Like I would want to know like why aren't you on that?
I'm thoroughly surprised with the answers. Actually, I think it's a big green flag.
They don't have
I think
socials.
I think it's a very attractive thing if a guy has little or no social media presence.
I think maybe it might be a red flag for women because you're not able to scope the guy out. Red flag if he doesn't have social media.
All right, Marian, continue what you're saying with giving me your opinion also in that video.
Yeah.
Hang on, David.
Um, that's going to be very hard, I will say, because I don't know how. Let's say if he has a social media platform, just only one. It doesn't, as I say, how are you able to do his business? I mean, just besides not only social media, just to make himself stand out to what he represent. It could be like herbal medicine. I mean, you need social media in order to promote yourself. And I know it's hard because I don't know how you're able to get from that point to this point, like from point A to point Z. Like, it's like now it's not like we're not in the era from the 70s or the 80s. I mean, we started having internet, at the time, AOL, speed dial up, whatever. But now it's like, it's impossible, to be quite honest, unless you want to go severely Amish. I hate to say that. But um no, it's impossible because everybody, man or woman, had to use social media in order to use that platform to promote themselves, in order to, whatever their business savvy is. If it's
You've got mail.
so, damn, I don't hear that in a while. um and like, it doesn't
You've
matter
got
if
mail.
it's, see, that's my God, I don't even hear that anymore. So I kind of miss that. So, but yeah, you need to promote whatever you're doing. If it's like internal
You've got
medicine,
mail.
Is that coming from you, Peter?
That's from David, not me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Will you trust this innocent face versus that Groot?
I don't know. You always have these crazy sound effects.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh,
Ting tang, walla walla bang bang.
again.
Ting tang, walla walla bang bang.
I
Oh,
love this
Lord.
sound deck. I love this sound deck.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can't imagine without it. I mean, we would not be doing this if we didn't have
Mhm.
social media.
So
I
I
can,
think social media is a curse and a gift at the same time. All right.
yeah,
I
basically,
think
yeah.
it's a gift because, like, for example, YouTube, that's a form of social media. Let's be honest here, guys. So it gets our this platform, this network, this family we're trying to build, this network,
Mm,
this whatever you want to fucking call it, this Kumba Dubath we're trying to build. All right,
mm-hmm,
it pushes us out to the world. Don't give me that
mm-hmm,
look, David. So if we didn't have this, we're not gonna be able to get to Greg, for example, in the UK. We will
mm-hmm,
never be able to reach him
mm-hmm,
out this platform and
yeah,
meet, I mean, a great person. All right. All right. So, by that said, but it's a curse at the same time because you get obsessed what you see online,
mm-hmm,
how things are. And behind the scenes, they're not just like what peaches and cream, rainbows in, and everything. You,
all
you
that
see what I'm
good.
saying, Mariana?
Yes, yeah,
How many relationships you see, online? For example, I know you eventually want to get into a relationship.
mm-hmm.
It looks perfect from the outside.
Yeah, it looks perfect, but behind the scenes, it's not. And then you end up,
Now we
what do
know
you,
that. Like a couple years
yeah,
back, we didn't know that.
yeah.
So, all right, let me get David in here because I know he's itching by the bits to come jump in here. Go ahead, David.
First, let me address the video. When the host of the whatever podcast said it's a red flag if a man don't have a social media platform, he will completely off the mark. Let me explain why. Yeah, we're in 2025. Concerning what kind of occupation you are in, it's either you're required to have a social media platform to promote yourself more, or it doesn't. Perfect example. People in the construction field, when they're gonna have time to deal with social media? They mostly start around 5 a.m. in the morning. They're almost done. I hate to say it sucks. 4, 5, 6, 7, depend on the project. Do you think they're gonna have time to want to go on? Let me check my Instagram.
Believe it or not,
No,
David, a lot of them do check it during the day.
I know a lot of them do, but when I work on construction site when I'm doing security guard, nine times out of ten, they don't even want to be on social media. They some are forced to have it because of Wi-Fi so they can communicate, but
Mm-hmm.
shit, they call messengers at social media. Having an IG or the other stuff, they're not really a fan of, unless you're a consulting company and you want to showcase what kind of project you work on. So in case you want to gain client, then yeah, that could be part of the thing. Working for America, they realize social media can be used as a tool to promote services, to promote products, to communicate and network among people who care to want to invest in what you're doing or require your service as well. Either of the two. Now, for guys of today's time, slowly but steady, some are trying to walk away from social media platform. But the simple fact of the idiotic standards that it creates. Oh, what kind of car you have? What kind of shoes you wear? What kind of fashion you have? What kind of house you like? It's a competition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Fake
absolutely.
till they make it. That's the phrase. Fake it till you make it. Really? So how long you'll keep faking it?
Bro, it was the thing going on for a while, like a meme. Like girls or guys would just take pictures with a Lamborghini in New York City or LA, and they're not. Like, and the guy comes up to him with his car keys. Oh, nice car. Boop, boop. And he goes, oh, and they start running the other way. Like, that's not your car, dude. Stop leaning on my
It
car.
became a
And
trend because
bikers, that's even worse on bikers. If you lean on a biker's bike, forget the 1%ers, the those 1% clubbers. I'm talking about the other kind, like those low-abiding citizens. If you are on their bikes, forget low-abiding citizen. You're getting your face smashed in. If you lean
And
on
that
my bike without my permission, you're getting fucked up, and that's the
and
facts.
that's the problem. What I'm trying to point out, there is a massive disconnect, and this
Well, I'm not
disconnect.
disagreeing with you, David, at
I know,
all.
I
I
know, I know,
agree
I know,
with you.
I'm not saying disagreeing, but
Yeah.
it comes from an era issue. This is an era issue. You talk
See,
about the old school era, like the Gen Z, the silent era. They don't care too much about social media. I'm talking about from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. They're not really too much of fun. I'm still in my 40s. I'm 47. It's becoming a half and half.
asses
It's
me.
becoming a half and half situation where some people don't want to be on social media during my age group, or some still either because based on what they do, whether that's assigned to their business or what they communicate with their family or friends. Yes, social media is an excellent tool to contact relatives from distant, from the United States to Canada, whatever they are.
But that can be
But
very dangerous too. At the same time, David.
I'm giving the pros and cons. It's good for
No, no,
that.
no, I'm going to tell you why it's dangerous. All right.
But
I know a 76-year-old man who doesn't even know how to use a smartphone, and he wants to be on social media. You know who that is?
Your father?
Exactly. And you know
you
what
know
I call
why?
him talking to?
What?
You want to know?
The
You know who
Nigerian
he was
hustler.
talking to? And he didn't know who the fuck he was. Like, I don't know how people keep talking to me, like, because you're responding to him, dumbass. And these were prostitutes from Brazil.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not damn like I went to New York with. Remember, what was that? Last year or a year before, we were trying to link up because I was meeting my dad. Remember that time, David, and he couldn't come down for a reason. I don't know why. Because
Good
you
thing
were
with them
close.
from
I was in
a good
Saudi.
thing with them from Africa would have been worse.
Oh my
Actually,
God.
that happened too. Yeah. So remember the time we were supposed to link up, right? And it never happened because of you couldn't get there for some A or B reason. So I think you were working or something. So I get there,
Mhm.
I pick him up from the nursing home. I drive him to one of his favorite diners, Bel Air Diner in New York. I can remember where and I saw it
Long Island
is.
cities.
Thank you, Long Island City. And
This why you always need a nerd.
I'm sorry.
The way we always need a nerd to remember stuff.
Yeah. So he hands me his iPhone. He goes, "Can you fix my phone?" Yeah, I'm looking. I'm going through and fixing this, fixing this. And like he fucked that up completely, like always. All right. So can you fix my messenger? He goes to me like, I open like, what the fuck? I'm going like this. And like, yeah, he had fucking from Spain, from Africa, from Jamaica,
Oh
from
my God.
Brazil, from Canada, from Mexico. And like, oh,
Mariana, then what happened? I'll break it down in plain English. He was trying to get jiggy with it.
Yeah.
asshole, dude. You're a fucking asshole.
Oh my God.
I had to throw the Will Smith on this one. I had to do that.
Oh my Lord.
Oh my god.
That is
That's the phrase.
crazy.
But here's my take on the video for a second here, all right? Because
Yeah.
we asked your opinion, we didn't ask the host's opinion. So if I meet a girl who doesn't have social media,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a red flag personally, but it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird not having some type of social media, from Facebook to Instagram, even TikTok, YouTube, whatever. If you tell me you don't have one of the 1,000 social medias out there, it's weird to me. Because to me, I kind of want to do a little background check before I date her.
Yeah.
The only way I can do a background check, out getting a cop involved or a private detective, is Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about meeting somebody that I have no associates with. Like Mariana doesn't know her, David doesn't know her, Paul doesn't know her, Sean doesn't know her, any of my friends, CQ doesn't know her, King doesn't know her, nobody knows her. I met her at a bar, at a grocery store. I met her at the dog park, whatever I met her. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad know her?
Probably. Yeah. Hey. He didn't even need to cover your blue chews, bro.
Wow.
He will
Ladies
right
and,
into that.
ladies and gentlemen, public announcement For all the elderly men in their 70s, you don't need no blue chew. You need a retirement home. Stay away from these young women. They will draw your blood pressure high and take your money from you. All right?
Mhm.
Stop it. It's not nice. It's not safe. Don't drive your son up the cave to go and, "Dad, what the hell are you doing?" It's not needed. You don't need your son here to do Batman, trying to figure out who set him up and got him taking
Mhm.
things he's not going to be taken.
Yeah.
You know what?
Oh,
I'm gonna show you guys something. You
Oh,
guys can
Lord.
kick out of this. All right. This is my father's Facebook account. All right.
okay.
And he posts stuff he doesn't even know, like this shit. I'm like, how the fuck you posting shit, dude? I'm like, I scroll down, he's posting shit that doesn't even know what the fuck they are. See what I mean? And then I go up here, and he's like, "Who the fuck is this bitch?"
That's your new future stepmom.
As long as she's fucking have money, I don't give a shit. I need someone to pay for all this fucking, networking we're doing. And look at this shit. What the fuck is this? That's why a 76-year-old should not ever be on social media. I'm sorry. He doesn't know the fuck. Look
You ever
at the
did,
shit he's posting, bro. Look what my dad's posting.
he's free. He got free time on his hand. There's
Yeah, he's
no
Too much
one.
bored.
free time.
It's not that. When you're in your 70 and you're 60 and you're single and there's no lady keeping you happy, you don't got time to go to the bar. What thing gonna happen in this present time?
You're a dick, first of all.
I'm sorry. Forgive me for watching Dr. Phil and all the other show and hear all the scandals about all the elder men and everyone who got scammed out of their bank account because they are on social media talking to all kind of weirdos, and these weirdos tell them to, send me 10,000. Okay, and that 10,000 probably go to you, but instead of going to you, it go to way down under. So how am I a dick?
So here's my issue. All right, like I said, right? Hang on. Let's get this guy in here before we move on. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president and the birthday boy. Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Oh, shot. Hey, I got to give the Craig salute. That's the Benny Hill one right there. Craig recognizes this.
Yeah, I
let's
remember. Ben.
let's give the floor to the oldest president alive.
Well, I'm not trying
Bennett.
to. I'm not giving a. Not looking to be the oldest president alive, but if I could be one of the fittest, I'll take that. So, just trying to stay in shape and just kind of keep it
First of all,
going.
Paul, I'd like to wish you once again a very happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
So-
Mr. President.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate
First
it.
of all,
Thank you, Marianne.
Second of all, how was your birthday? First of all, with the ox.
It was good. It was good. We hung out at I went. It's weird. I work like 5 minutes away from American Dream Mall, and I went there for the first time on Sunday, and it was quite the experience going there. Just the crowd. I never saw a crowd dynamic like that, and just the massiveness of the place and whatnot. But the cool thing about being my age now and having adult daughters is like they pick up the check. Because when they were younger, it was like, "Oh, Dad, it's your birthday. Here, happy birthday. Oh, where are we going for dinner?" And obviously, you're the one picking up the tab. So now it's like the daughters will be like, "Now we got just Dad. So eat what you want or
It's a
whatever."
nice switch, isn't it?
It is. It is. So, but overall, just feeling pretty good. But it's day 2 of season 57. I don't. The finish line becomes the starting line. So it's like you're just running a race.
Mhm.
So 56, it's nice that I'm in this place, but I'm working towards 57 and to be as fit as I can, to have more experiences, to have more joy in my life at this age, and just kind of keep it moving. The last couple years I've experienced so much. and learning to live in the present. I think that's, like I said, I try not to be looking so far in advance that I miss the things that are right in front of me, and also not dwelling on the past either, and just having a, treating every day like it's a, they say every day above ground is a good day.
Oh,
So
I totally agree with that.
just
So,
constantly being in that mode and thinking about, good things, and where I want things to go, and experiences, and what I want to see and do this year, and just like, so it's been great.
mhm. So me and you had this conversation before about social media. You believe social media connects us closer than ever,
Yeah.
and I pushed back on that. I do feel we're connected, but we also feel we're very distant at the same time.
Hmm.
So in the video, did you watch the last video I played on any
I did,
chance?
think about the girls. I guess they were asking,
Yes, yes,
whether or
yes,
not
yes.
they were.
If a man doesn't have a social, sometimes it's a red flag for them. And like just mentioned before you came on, it's not a red flag for me personally, from a man to a woman side of it. I think it's going to be a little weird not having social media because I want to do my background check on her. She's
Mhm.
not any psycho killer like Mariana is, but that's a whole different story.
Oh
Um,
my god.
shut up down there, you. So I want to get your opinion on that, Paul, because you're one of the, you have three daughters. You're trying to, push them out eventually to marriage. Have like 12 grandkids. Or 25, whatever number you want. It's either up to you. I don't care either way. But
Well, that's up to them. It's not up to me. So,
okay, 95 grandkids. I'll keep increasing the number.
mhm.
So, but the point I'm trying to get to is, what is your opinion on this with the red flag part?
Um, I would say it's probably a bit of a red flag. I think if I met a woman who wasn't on social media a lot, I may have different things about her, that maybe she might be hyper conservative, um, a little bit backwards to an extent. I
Mhm.
may do that. Um, but a lot of it would be okay. Well, what are you doing with your time if you're not on social media? Like, what are you doing? Are you reading? And again, I have no issue with certainly with readers or people who enjoy reading. But I'd kind of want to know how you spend your, if you're not working and not in school or whatever, what are you doing with your off time? And like I said, for me, social media, it's a way for me to connect, especially with family members. Because again, I come from a fairly, my mom and dad had pretty large families, so that I got cousins that I've never met if it weren't for social media. Or sometimes you can't get to certain places or persons because of that. But social media certainly filled the void. People you just, for logistical reasons or time, you just can't get caught up with. So I'd want to know that, it's whether you have a social media or not. I guess the question is, what are you doing with it? Are you using it as a way to stay close and keep family ties together? Or is it, are you promoting brands? And if you're promoting, what type of content are you promoting? So I don't know if I could just answer the question with just a blanket no, social media is good, social media is bad, or if someone has a social media following, um, you know, good or bad. I would want to know more content now. If I met someone, if my wife had 100,000 subscribers, yeah, I'd be very interested in, how did you build that? Did you do it by, you showing your body off, or, are you a marketer of some kind or whatever? If she had a substantial presence of any kind, I'd certainly want to know what that is. And again, because obviously you have to invest time in order to build that kind of platform. So
Mhm.
then the question then I would have is, are you ready for any kind of substantive relationship, or your uh efforts into building your social media up? So I think, the size of your network may matter, but again, it's about just having a conversation. All I think social media, if anything, it just gives you an opportunity to have conversation. But as I said on another show, as I think on the next gen training, you still got to do the work. you know it's like, if someone gave you a big phone book. We used to have those big thick phone books or whatever, and someone just gave you one with all these contacts in it. Well,
Yeah.
again, if I'm a business, I got to call people up. I got to do cold calls. I got to do, you know media, publication, mass marketing, or whatever. I got to get out and talk to people. And it's just another avenue with which to do that. And if you do have a social media, I can kind of take a look at, again, the content that you put on there. Is it what I would deem as wholesome sort of content, or is it more salacious kind of content? Are you a different person? Because if you look at my social media across all platforms, it's pretty much the same. The only thing is my Instagram is more dedicated to fitness, so I have the sort of like this Fit Over 50 as my brand over there. So more than likely, I'm going to post training videos or fitness updates and things like that, like I just did before. My Facebook is more where I have my familial connections, but my LinkedIn, again, is pretty clean. I mean, in fact, like I said, I'm very easy to find in social media. If someone wants to find out about who I was and what I do or whatever, I'm very easy to look up. I don't use a crazy handle name or some ghost 35 something. It's just look up Paul Bennett and you'll find me out there. And I live a open life, which in some ways I wouldn't say it puts pressure on me, because again, I try to reflect how I live. So I'm not trying to hide anything. It's like, look, here I am. Even when I was dating, even when I was looking for a wife, I was very transparent. It's like, this is who I am. The whole document that I wrote, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what I want. And if you weren't interested in that, then I kind of kept it moving. But I can't keep my social media the same way. So yeah, am I the
Okay.
fittest guy in the world? No, but I have a certain modicum of fitness that some people are attracted to. So it's like, look, here it is. I have a training methodology that I use that may not be what a lot of people are using, but this is what I use. So again, I maintain this body doing about 100 workouts a year and less than 2 hours a week.
All right.
Some
So I'll
people
give
may
you guys an
appeal to
example
that,
here,
some people
David.
may not. But I just, I think if certainly when used with the right intentions and for the right reasons, I think it can be a very useful addition to your life. But just like anything else, any kind of tools or whatever, you have to learn how to use them responsibly. And what I sometimes hear with a lot of people who are pushing back, it's out of them seeing a lack of responsibility in these platforms. And that's, I think, where the issue lies. But it's not the platforms. I think it's how you decide to spend your
All right, Paul,
time.
I'm going to cut you off a second. I want you to give me your opinion on something, right? So I'm going to give you four people on Facebook and their per subscriber account, right? I'm going to go from backwards a little bit, right? Okay. So this first person has 1,497. You think it's a red flag? How many?
1,400 subscribers now?
No? Okay. All right, he's a DJ, so I expect to be a little higher on him. His end, all right? So the next person has only what's the number here? 723. Red flag, or is it, you think that's pretty normal?
No, it's pretty normal. I
Okay.
mean, I have under 1,000, so I don't.
I do too. So the
yeah.
this is the next person is also another person. About a little under 1,100. Red flag, or I think that's normal.
No.
And the last person is 66 663. Red flag,
Again,
no flag.
no flags on any of those counts. I think those are relatively normal, unless you're, again, if you're intentionally trying to be some sort of influencer or build a social media presence, then I would expect numbers to certainly to be advancing.
So
especially
the
if you're
first
just starting
one,
out.
the very first one was DJ Frank, local area DJ. He has about the highest in this count right now, and I expected his to be higher because he's just.
Well, how long has he been on?
I'm not sure how long he's been on, to be honest
Well,
with you.
it would tell you that, though. If you look at his profile, it says joined.
09. He joined in 09.
Yeah, so he probably hasn't been using it to
No, I
a
know
great
he
extent.
hasn't. He took a break from everything.
Yeah.
He took a break from DJ. He took a break from everything. He took a 2-year break from everything, from some personal reasons. And not my business to put out there. That's all I'm gonna say. And the last one, was 663, was me personally. My social is only for social. The channel social media is just a channel. I keep them separate for a reason. That's a personal thing I have. I think anything about under 2,000, that's a normal range, I would say. Anything once you hit 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, that's where like red flags come showing to me personally.
Red
Like,
flags?
yes,
Interesting.
like my cousin. All right, she's a personal trainer, right, in Jersey, in your area, right, down in like the Newark area, right.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of her pictures she posts are like a little skinky. Let's put it this way. All right, like her working out in a bathing suit, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So her prescriber count is like over 9,000 right now.
Right.
So you see where I'm going with this right now.
But again, but it's not the number. That it's what you're doing. Because I know people who don't do anything like that at all. But again, they build a brand, whether it be on education or music or art or whatever it is, and they have subscriber counts that high. But they're not putting anything salacious out there. I mean, yes, there's plenty of women out there who build their content by showing their body off. That's and would I want to be with someone who was in that space and that's how she basically built her brand? Probably not. But it's not the subscriber count. It's what you're doing with, how did you build those subscribers is what I would be more interested in. And if I can clearly see that based on the pictures that I'm seeing, that, yeah, this is how she builds herself up, then, I may take a pass at that. Maybe, I don't know. Like it would.
You'll have 15 seconds.
What was that?
Oh no, I clicked on the by accident. Go ahead. You were saying.
Okay, so it depends. I mean, but yeah, skin. If you build your media brand through showing your skin, and even then, there's a way to do it. Like I know there's fit women who show gym pics, but they're wearing proper gym attire. They're not wearing the thong-ish biker shorts or whatever, or they're not doing anything to overly accentuate. I mean, so I think there's a classy way to do it, and then there's ones where it's a scandalous way to do it. I mean, if you're sticking your butt out just to show your cheeks in every picture or whatever, and that's a different way to do it. So no,
Right,
yeah.
Before we play the next video, I want to play this new show this new two comments came in. Okay, so to some degree, social media did mess up socialism. What made it worse is some social media influencers should not be famous. I agree with that. Do you guys agree with it so far?
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, like I said, to some degree, does social media mess up socializing? No, I'll still push back on that.
Okay.
Because again, socializing as far as person-to-person contact, that should never go off. Ever. I mean, it's if you're raising children in an environment where they're not getting out, they don't have social activities, where they're with real people, if they're stuck in there, if you got kids who are on their computers, 20 hours a day and whatnot, I don't think that's healthy. And I don't think as a parent, you should necessarily allow that in your household. Your kids should be able to get out and do physical activity. They should be out there playing or dancing or sports or something like that. They should have we should be grooming our children to be social and how to interact in the world, because they're going to have to. But a lot of keyboard warriors, as I was saying during the resume show and the interview show, that yes, you are very smart technically, as far as especially in the IT spaces, you can have that background, but you are socially awkward, and that is going to play out if you don't have that kind of social interaction. So that is up to parents and certainly those individuals to make sure that you never get away from that. But again, social media can just add another dimension in terms of how you can connect with people, but you still got to do the work of doing it. And then the second part is what made it worse is that some social media influencers should not be famous. I don't know if that's up to anybody to decide that. You put something online, you find an audience, There's an audience for anything and everything out there.
Good point.
And so who's to say that, okay, I mean, there's corn out there. I mean, who's to say that, people put stuff out there and people find it? I mean, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying you find an audience. Now, that may not be what you rock with, but I'm not going to say that, someone should or should not. I hate the Paul brothers just from a boxing perspective or whatever. And, but I can't argue with, obviously they found a following. There's political people I don't agree with, but
Mhm.
nevertheless they have a following.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to um, judge someone's, whether or not they should or should not be. That's up to the public to decide whether or not someone should be or
And
not.
he follows up
So
saying
I
there is some content is not too funny and only getting famous because of their ties in the entertainment.
Entertainment
entertainment
industry.
industry.
You
Well,
can't really push
well,
back on that.
again, they had the ties.
That's what I'm
How did
saying.
they get those ties to the entertainment industry? So they did
Yeah,
something.
if you like if you a bunch of people are been in what's his name? Maven back in the day in WWE. He has his own
Yeah, he was.
he
Yeah,
has his own YouTube channel now. And
yeah, and he's close to 1 million subs now.
I think it's more than that. But that's a great example. Like if he wasn't a WWE wrestler, from the early 2000s, he would not made it the big he is, I think. And he's used
No one would care who he is. He'd be like one of those guys you met at Comic-Con who barely, has any subs. So again, he was able to, and again, he hooked up. He didn't even want to, because I watched a lot of his content, especially early on,
yeah, I still
when
watch
he was
stuff.
under 100,000 subscribers, and he talked about, look, he didn't know anything about social media. He didn't want to do anything with it. But I guess the guy, his partner, and it was a young guy who basically said, "Hey, I think you'll be great at this." He decided to partner up and run the camera, and sort of the rest is history after that. So it wasn't even his call, but it was just meeting the right person at the right time, um, that he was able to take off. Because I don't know if this would have happened, especially after he left WWE. Obviously, he had substance issues. He was, I don't know if he did jail time, but he had some demons he had to certainly overcome after he got fired and all that kind of stuff. And he also got fired from the Home Shopping Network because of some stuff
And
going
ESPN,
on.
I think he
So
worked for ESPN for a little bit too.
yeah, so it's no, not ESPN. No, that was Coach Jonathan Coachman. He worked at ESPN.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
I do know Maven, he's in the New Jersey area now. He lives down that way.
Yeah, he's in.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised he didn't
for
bump into
sure.
him by now.
I know. It's like I'm just gonna have to, just
Plus, he doing some
bump
interview with
into
some
him.
other
But
wrestlers who are already retired, and sometimes they give him the rub because even though he worked with them before in the past, they still like he had respect for, like, for example, he talked. I think they do with Undertaker, and they had how Undertaker almost killed him for that botch. I think with the botch, he was not supposed to eliminate Undertaker from the Royal Rumble, which he did. Undertaker was pissed.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. When he went behind him, and he just fuck it, I'm doing it. And no, he was supposed to eliminate him, but he was not supposed to eliminate it the way he went out. And that's what Undertaker looked at him like, "Oh, I'm going to get my receipt on your motherfucker."
And that's the thing
yeah,
about it. He had to apologize for it. He said he had been apologized for years, but he knew Undertaker was like the boss of the locker room. He was the leader for a
Yeah,
very,
I
very
don't like to
long
the
time.
wrestling show, but really fast, Undertaker had a lot of respect. He was a professional of a professional.
Yeah, he
So
is.
like, and he followed with the last comment. Paul, you want to take the last one?
Okay, so China's monitoring social media influencers and giving them clearance by their credentials, such as certificates and educational degrees. Again, I don't know if that's
No,
uh, the fault.
that is true. But
Even I'm saying, let's assume it is. Let's assume it is. And obviously, are people out there misrepresenting themselves in terms of accreditations or degrees that they have that they shouldn't have or whatnot? Yeah, but people can do that online, offline. They can do that on LinkedIn. They can do that in a lot of different places. So again, I mean, you're still going to have to do your due diligence and not just be taken aback by, okay, well, this guy has so many subscribers, so therefore they must be legit. I think, again, what you associate with a large subscriber base, I think you have to treat it, for what it is. And it's not always going to be, what you may think it is. Because, again, I think back in the day, it was like, oh, yeah, I got to get to a certain number of subscribers. And then the money started. I mean, when YouTube, certainly during the pandemic, everyone was like, let me get subs and let me get subs. But then guess what YouTube did? They didn't change the algorithm. So people who were making money, they changed the algorithm and you're not making any money anymore. So So again, you can't get so caught up in that, and that's why certainly on this platform, for me, I'm always about content. Creating content that I can be proud of, that I can put out there and be like, look, here it is. Whether I get 10 hits or 100 hits or 10,000 hits, I really don't care. Um, and but again, that's the individual's decision. That's what they have to make. But again, should kids, I think of a certain age, should they be allowed on these platforms? If I was going to have some pushback, because I'm not so irresponsible to say that okay, there should be no regulation or whatever. Should 12-year-olds be on IG and some of these platforms? I don't think so. I think there should be some age, some sort of age verification or something that you can do to keep, minimum, I'd say 15, 16 years old. I'd say 16 to be on a social media site, but not 9-year-olds shouldn't be
Yeah.
on TikTok and Instagram, some of these platforms. So I think, if they could put something like that in place, I think that would be useful. But
How will that stop them? Because like showing.
I don't know.
I'm saying,
I'm pitching an idea. I'm saying where I think is appropriate.
no, I
Now,
agree
how
with that.
the technology, how to do it, I have no
That's
idea
the
how
issue
you
right
would.
now. But let's play the next video really fast because I like that. I actually like this guy a lot. I've been following him for a while, and I like what he says in his video. So let's.
Oh, Jay Shetty.
What's social media doing to our brain?
There's a book I love called Thrilled to Death. It's continually pressing on your nucleus accumbens that produces dopamine, continually pressing on the pleasure centers in your brain. But the problem with that is the more you press on them, they begin to become numb. And you need more and more excitement, more and more stimulation in order to feel anything at all.
What's social media doing to our brain?
There's a book.
Marianne, I'll let you go first this time.
I totally agree. What the gentlemen say. It's like you will see something, but you don't have no control. Like scroll this, click like, whatever the case is. It's basically, it's in a way whatever you absorb, whatever you see, it's like you don't stop. It's like your brain is like, there's some people could control themselves, like meaning that okay, I could spend 30 minutes and the rest of the day I will do, other things. But some people could spend the whole day just, strolling, like YouTube, Facebook, whatever, social media platform. But it's worse. It's worse for little children because I noticed once they will cry if they don't get their tablets or their phone, and it's like they cannot they have to get what they wanted, but then their parents have to put they have to put their foot down that they cannot be strolling because now their brain is so messed up because they just like to be focusing watching social media, and that doesn't help like motor skills and socializing because kids should not be exposed to that at all. Like, kids like young as 5. And I see that, and this is like disturbing. I didn't grow up with that type of era with social media, so
We didn't have it.
no, we didn't have it. I'm just saying, but now it's
Well,
like
Maria, how can you can't compare apples versus oranges here?
I
Because
know, but it
hang on,
just
hang on. Let me say my piece really fast, and you can take the floor
okay.
back. Okay.
Okay.
So back then, social media was the sidewalk for us.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging out in the corner, bullshitting with your friends. Some were rapping, some were playing video games, some were at the comic book store, some were at the library. Whatever
Yeah.
your social area was, that was social media back then. The most we had back then is called close to social media.
Mhm.
I'm going very old school back now. It was a walkie-talkie. That's what we
Yeah, I remember
communicated
that.
before.
Oh my God, I
Yeah,
remember
before we
that.
had cell phones, before you were allowed to even have a beeper. That's what we
Yeah.
used. But you can really compare that. And like I think you said it, Paul. I'm not mistaken. Like a lot of people said back in my day, but things are different now. You can't really say back in my day because that's not fair for these kids or for anybody. Yeah, I'm saying it's not fair. But you know why? Because it was a different time for us. We didn't have iPhones. We didn't have smart TVs back then. So the technology has evolved. So as technology evolves, humanity evolves with it. So
Mhm.
you can't compare apple versus oranges here. I'm gonna push back 100% on that. Let
Mhm.
Miranda go, and then you can go next, David, and Paul, you go third. All right, go, Mariana.
As I was saying, there's had to be a sort of like a time frame limit, especially for little children. I mean, they had to, let's say, a child wants to know alphabets or whatever, from, like a child want to, whatever the case is, numbers,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want them to get so carried away also. I mean, there's certain things, but
I
also
agree
you
on
want,
that part.
yeah. So, but other than that, I mean, some people don't have, they depend on it, and that's the worst thing. Like, there's some people just depend on social media instead of, using as a way to social in person. I hate to say that. I mean, now, like it's more important to text. Like I'm going to the restaurant. Like, why the hell is everybody texting? I don't like what is going on with talking. Why is nobody talking face to face? Like it just kind of like okay, but it's still like need to limit yourself. I mean, there's a wood that you need to have a balance too. You can't be like so obsessed. Oh, I'm gonna text, 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 and I'm like, that's all I see. And at work is not any better. Management texting all day long. Like damn, like you can you give up your phone? I feel like it just it's some of it's not even important to be quite honest. So yeah, it's so right now it's I will say it's very divided. I will say with social media. That's all. Like I don't know what else can I say.
David, you're up.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring it down the timeline. You first had the beeper, right?
Mm-hmm.
The oh, I'm gonna make that call,
Pager.
right?
Yep.
The pager beeper, right? Went
Mm-hmm.
from there to the BlackBerry, aka the BBN network.
Mm-hmm.
You have a BlackBerry, you join the BlackBerry network, right? Now we have something that was kind of hip for the non-BBN. It called for all the T-Mobile customer the Sidekick. Let's not forget about the Sidekick, which
Mm-hmm.
was there. And we had other devices. We had the Yahoo Messenger,
Mm-hmm.
the MSN Messenger, the ICQ Messenger. Let's not forget the infamous AOL Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. That was the boom of the social media platform. Everybody was texting, right? Either you have a Yahoo Messenger or AOL Messenger, whatever. If you have, you're able to communicate. And Microsoft and Air did some collaboration. Yahoo and Microsoft did some collaboration where you can interact with each other. Then you have to match up with everything. Then the social media start to pop up all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't say it's not nobody's fault, but in each era of the boom, Mr. Bennett and I have been through most of it because we in the IT field. There have been the changing of the guards concerning what the social media will look like, what they feel like, what it'll be about, right? Great. We are being told, we are being informed why young generation should not be on social media because there was no security measure to protect the younger generation for some kind of level of exposure. The banner say, let it be at the age of 16. I say let it be at the age of 18, the age of accountability. Reason why I say that, within a span for almost 2 decades, we have noted what social media negative effect have on the younger generation, what it had done, what it had curated, who was made a victim based on social media, who unalive themselves due to cyberbullying, which is the byproduct of
Mm-hmm.
social media. What else can I put on there besides cyberbullying? Revenge. They had a documentary called 13 Reasons Why, whereby certain school. And let me tell you something. Before they even had the documentary, there was an article that took place concerning one of the newer platforms that came around the time called Snapchat. This happened in Virginia, whereby a particular student decided to snitch because a unique recreational center where the age limit was between 11 to 15, there was a group of kids that mostly go to that recreational center. They were running some kind of swinger club through Snapchat because Snapchat, you didn't. This is why I say people don't do their homework. I'm almost aware about a lot of things that happen. This is
I'm
why.
not denying Snapchat is not the greatest platform ever
No, it
because
was no Snapchat. At first day it got launched, and I noticed the functionality. I knew it would spell trouble because first and foremost, it was good for teenagers to hide their track.
that's what
Because
I was gonna say.
it never stayed on there. So what they were doing, it was the thing that was going on behind the scenes. Until the boy snitch, the FBI and other investigative bureaus started to investigate and find out what was going on. With more than 200 students was involved in that little ring that took place in Virginia. A lot of parents did not know what was going on because when you check the Snapchat, you cannot find it because after 24 hours, it just appears. Then the same
Not
thing
even a few
happened in,
minutes.
I know, it happened in New York State, especially in New York City. It happened in another state, the one in the Midwest. And every time you see what's supposed to be to have done, either be Snapchat, either be Instagram, either be Facebook, either be MySpace, or any other platform, it was doing something. And this is where I hate to say the Congress was having a problem.
Hmm.
There was no one of the age of understanding. Sorry to say that we had too many grandpas and grandma in Congress. They need to retire a long time ago. They had no clue what to do with social media. Social media were whooping their behind. Were collecting their lunch money, whooping their ass. At the same time, give them money for the retirement plan, meaning you know you're not gonna stay here long. You're not gonna understand us. So just take this money, shut up, keep it pushing. That was going on for more than a decade. So imagine how social media have a stranglehold to the point whereby da 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 they mess with your mind to become to the election, aka Facebook. There was something, yes, social media had its pros, but it had a lot of cons. It was not regulated within the United States. But the more you decide to take a plane and go to the EU was not playing around with social media. They made it clear. What y'all do over there at the US soil, don't bring that nonsense over here. We're not playing that game with you. You F up, we get rid of you. You go to Asia, you think EU was too tough? You go to Asia, they had a gridiron lock on that one. They're not playing. They will tell you, they go rip you off the network. They're not going to allow you to do what you did in the United States and do it to their own constituents, their own citizens. That's what where the issue come to play. They have politicians who understand the negative effect of social media and they had ironclad law to regulate it. It was only here because of grandpa and grandma don't understand social media, they understand the green paper. That was the issue. I told a lot of parents throughout my 22, 23-year career in IT why you should have certain, how you want to say, Uncle Tom software on their children devices, aka the smartphone, aka the tablet, aka the laptop, because we don't know what they get on. You had a fellow content creator who was proving that a lot of parents don't know what's going on with their young kids, whereby he will hide the parent in the truck. It'd be on YouTube. And he show you how he gets hold of their daughters or their son to open the door for a stranger. Through what? Social media. And they thought they got a handle on it and they did not realize it. They never had a handle to begin with. Here's the problem. They have way to put a clamp down on it, but they wasn't going to do it as long as that paper and the bag was heavy enough to make it take a blind eye. They're going on for far too long. When did Mr. Bennett, if I ask you the question, when did the internet boom first started? Which year?
I'm sorry, when did what
The
boom start?
internet boom started.
Internet
Yeah.
boom? Definitely early 2000, 2001.
What did I do in the late 1998, 1998? I remember College Club.
No, you still had you had bulletin boards,
Yeah, but
and you had forums and bulletin boards back then.
okay, but I'll start it from there. 1998, right? We in
mhm.
2025. So within a time span of what? I don't know, 26, 27, 28 years, you tell me you don't have a handle or how social media platform operate?
But nobody does. I mean, the only thing I'll push back on you, David, is you talk about Europe. Europe is battling the same thing. They're just now. I was just looking it up. They have no age requirements. They're trying to implement a 16-year-old age limit requirement on it, but it's not there yet. So they're still combating the issues too. The only countries where it's like lockdown, Middle East is locked down because they got their own networks and stuff. China's locked down. Europe, they're still
I thought they pushed that one for.
uh,
I'm sure England. I thought some other European countries were doing that.
well, you said just Europe,
I say
right?
I
So
say the
that includes
EU,
England
the
also.
European Union, the whole entire region.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but it's they're proposing it, but it's not there yet.
Oh,
So they've been dealing with it just as much as we have here. So I I don't necessarily agree that they have more of a handle on it. And I don't know Africa. I don't know what their
no,
situation is
Africa is
when it comes.
more. I remember.
I mean,
I'll
they're
give you an
still kind of
example.
just getting up to.
Nigeria trying to take control of the social media platform behind the scenes without their authorization, which is their breaching of
Mhm.
contract. Other African countries said, if we don't have control to see what the hell you are doing, we're not going to allow you in our turf. Meaning, you're not going to bring your poison if I don't know what you're giving to my people, so to speak. So it's a mismatch depending on what country in Africa you're able to put it in.
Yeah.
Because they find
Yeah,
find
because I don't
on
know, like South Africa might be more.
l-
Would you argue
liberal,
that they might be the most
they're more
advanced
liberal.
in terms of infrastructure and
Yes.
internet and things of that nature? So that
South Africa is almost like a sister
it's like
state to
it's almost
America.
like a European country. I mean, it's almost like an EU.
And that's what it is. So I thought they had it. I know I don't know what European country would be the first to push it, but there was an argument behind that because one, they had an issue with a company coming in from the US over there and doing the announcement, and they want to put a clamp down. I thought they got it by now. I never got a chance to check on it, but I know.
Yeah, I think they're still because the articles I'm reading are just from October 2025. So I mean, it's still it's being proposed. Has it gotten passed yet? And again, as Pete mentioned earlier, the technology. How do you enforce it? Like what technical tools can you use in order to do that? Unless you put unless you put something on the phones. Let's say like if you buy your kid an iPhone or an Android phone or whatever. If there's a way you can almost code their date of birth in the phone of somehow, you know what I mean? If they're going to be using it, right, it'll know the phone itself how old this person is. So even if I wanted to use the phone, I couldn't because this phone is coded for a 12-year-old. So I couldn't use it even if I put my credentials in. Something like that, unless they put something in the phone itself that would say, hey, age restriction, and then obviously the websites and whatnot, they would also have to, when you log on, when you enter the URL or go to these places, then it'll be like, I'm sorry, you're
Now,
and you can't change that.
iPhone
Like
has
once it's
that.
in,
It had that feature
what's that?
embedded where you can set a bit on the age level. But what I noticed,
Yeah.
based on the age group, if I'm correct, from the age of 8 going to 12, it's almost like a complete lockdown. Not many apps
Yeah.
you're able to install on that device. If you put your child 8 on that phone to make sure they can keep track of, meaning they can behind your back download app they're not put to be on it. 'Cause I remember I did my granddaughter and I put it according to her age group. And it
Yeah.
on the tablet, it was blocking a lot of stuff. She'll
Yeah.
complain, "Oh, I need YouTube." I said, "You don't need YouTube. You need YouTube."
But David, here's the thing: how do you know they don't want to lie and put a different age on it?
No,
No, I'm saying
no.
when you buy
When
the
you buy the
phone,
phone, here's the thing. I
like I
bought a phone
said,
for my
you're
son.
gonna take your kid. Usually, you're gonna take your kid to the T-Mobile
Mhm.
store, or Apple store, whatever, and you're gonna buy the phone. So again, when you get the phone and they set it up or whatever, whether you put it on a SIM or whether you put it on, somehow it's in the phone
Hmm.
itself, and you can't easily change that or
Fact.
take it out, even even if it's an unlocked phone.
Fact.
You should be able to have that kind of again, I'm not an expert on that in terms of how to do it, but I would think it
I
would
done
have
it
to be something within the phone
for my
itself,
son.
not some software or app
For my,
that you can hack in and make
for
some
my
changes
son,
to something.
if I bought when I
Yeah.
bought a phone for him, it had to be registered under me because I'm the parent. And Google have that app whereby it allow you to monitor every single activity.
But I wouldn't even want that. Like I said, if you can put an age verification in the phone itself, so you wouldn't have to do that kind of monitoring. And like I said, and nobody, even if an adult had the phone, they wouldn't be able to go to certain sites or whatever because the phone is coded to that person's age. Now you can go, you could take it in because you are since the name is on your
Mhm.
account, you can say, okay, now my kid is 16 or my kid is 18, and then I want to give some more freedoms or some unlock some benefits for
Mhm.
them. Because with me, like my kids got smartphones like at the early end. So it's like the Apple the iPhone came out 2005, 2006 or
Mhm.
whatever. We didn't get smartphones until 2012. But even then, you had to be of a certain age. Like the biggest thing with my daughters was, especially my youngest one, she would always get frustrated because the older sisters had something that she couldn't. But the rules were consistent. I said, when you
Oh, but
are 12, you can get a smartphone. When she was 8, and the oldest one had one, said, "Why can't I have one?" Because you're 8. So we always had, like, I was always fair to my kids. When you get here, then you can get in. But the fact that they thought, well, we all do everything together. They dance together. They go to school together. They just think because we, had them, they're close in age. They just thought that, well, we're sisters, so we should do everything together. It's like, no. When you get to a certain age, you get the
I'm
privilege.
sorry.
And so
The-
and so that was something that was an easy one for us in terms of I didn't have to argue. So again, if like even today, like I said, my youngest, if she was 8, she wouldn't get a smartphone.
and
She
I was the
would
same
get
way.
all
I would.
basic buttons, and she can pout and cry and all that kind of stuff if she wants to, but that's the way it is. I think at some point you have to be a parent
I'd say this.
and not capitulate. But I want to go back to the points that were made earlier from the video. So the guy was talking about the dopamine effect and all that, and that's granted, but that could be with anything though. And my thing is, whether it be food, whether it be corn, whether it be gambling, whether it be that dopamine, even if you get it, that doesn't mean it's going to turn you into an addict.
Mhm.
I mean, we know this. Even smokers. Now, smokers might be the only exception. Like, I don't know a casual smoker. Now, I know people who chain smoke, but
I know a
people
few
who
casual
just
smokers who smoke only when they're drinking.
casual smokers, but that's rare,
It
I
is.
would
It is
say,
very
in the
rare.
smoking community. But these other vices that people, say that they're on, those are rare. Like, not everybody who watches corn is an addict, right? Just like now, but if you go to Vegas and you may spend a weekend in Vegas and blow a few $100s or whatever, that doesn't mean you're an addict. So again, it doesn't necessarily follow that. Yeah, you get that dopamine response from it, and it gets, and the way he described it, it's like, yeah, it's like addicts. That's what happens. The dopamine that you get from the activity gets less and less to you could be a sex addict. And it can get to a point where the regular stuff doesn't satisfy you anymore. You need something kinkier. So that can happen to
And I
anybody.
will.
But that doesn't mean that you shut it off.
And here this.
Again, you
I agree with you in that sentiment. At the same time, I don't agree. And let me tell you why I say I agree and I don't. What you say is totally correct. But when I disagree, you and I both know this very, very well. Since the introduction of mobile device, we are in a society that even NYPD had to regulate the use of devices. Whereby you have people who cannot pay attention while they're driving during their device. We have people
Mhm.
who, this is New York City, so you cannot tell me that's not the case. You're walking and you can't pay attention when you're crossing the street and get hit by a car while
Mhm.
using the device. It becomes the argument comes to the point that this social media was tied to mobile device is coming a society problem of itself.
Mhm.
So in some kind of way, he is right about what he said because look at the general public.
No, I agree. I agree with what the chemical reaction that happen in the brain. I agree. I agree with that. But to the point where if you're saying that it is more dangerous because they said like I grew up, I was a latchkey kid. So the idea was it's like TV grew you grew you. You didn't have a lot of parental interaction. It was the television, and they said back then, what's going to destroy our kids is kids watching all this
And they tell you
television.
about video games too.
And what do we do every Saturday night? We talk about the television shows and all the cartoons and all the stuff that we grew up watching. And then it became video games. It's like, oh, this video game thing is going to destroy this generations of kids or whatever. And what do we talk about every Saturday night?
AKA
all the
Grand
video
Theft
game
Auto.
titles that everybody plays.
AKA Grand Theft
So
Auto.
so again, I mean, you hear this now again. Could it get to a point where it's like, okay, now it's for real? But it almost sounds like the boy who cried wolf. You know what I mean? At every iteration, the music, right? Rock and jazz was going to destroy the world.
I
Jazz,
remember that actually.
jazz was going to destroy the world. Then rock and roll was going to destroy the world.
Something's
Then
gonna
rap
destroy
was
the
going
world
to
always.
destroy the world. Then heavy metal was
No,
going to
you're
destroy
not.
the
You're not
world.
allowed to listen to jazz because your mom will get mad with you. That would get mad with you.
I'm just saying, jazz music. They were calling jazz music demonic because a lot of the guys who were doing jazz, they would kind of take a whiff to get inspiration for it. So they thought, oh well, it's coming from a demonic.
And
So jazz was banned. You know what I'm saying? So again, you hear this a lot, but at the end of the day, again, it's going to be about you cannot take away not only individual responsibility, you cannot take away parental responsibility. If parents want to leave their kids unattended with these devices and not take authority over what their kids do, I have I can only have so much sympathy for that. You know what I mean? If someone gets so again, you can be into games. But again, if you want to spend 20 hours a day playing Call of Duty around the world and you're overweight and not in shape and your health is terrible and you have little interaction with people, I can't help that. David, it wasn't a charge at you.
I
I'm
know.
just saying we know people like
doing
that.
I'm Pete.
We know people who are like so I'm just saying, I mean,
No, he's right. He's 100% right. You can't push back on. Hang on. Hang on. You can't push back and pull because I know a lot of people who, even in past your age, no offense, guys, they will sit there all day long just playing Call of Duty. I knew a guy I work with. He goes, when I get home from work, and he worked under me, and when I get home, I play Call of Duty again. I wouldn't even give my girl some, whatever, and he goes, even I wouldn't get up to the bathroom. I used an old iced bottle of piston. That's how addicted he was to the Call of Duty game.
Oh my God.
That's a hard addiction. Like what Paul is saying is 100% to the T. Like, because you go gambling, hang on, David. I'm gonna let you have the floor in a second. Because you went out to have a few drinks every Friday night, maybe you go away at happy hour with your friends or whatever, does not make you an alcoholic. Because you have your 2 or 3 drinks and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But when you have it 7 days a week for 365 days, that's what becomes alcoholic. If you went maybe 3 or 4 times a year to the casino and play a few games, does that make you alcoholic? Does it? Because I like playing video games every so often to relax. It does not make you an addict gamer. Am I making sense what I'm saying here?
You're making sense.
Yeah.
I'll first,
Yeah, you can take the floor. Take the floor. Take the floor.
He had a valid argument. He took that angle because that is perfectly correct. Throughout the ages, now you gotta know this. They say jazz with the demon song. They say rock and roll with the demonic song. They say that's about rap. They say that about video gaming, and more likely Call of Duty was the one that took the most hit for that one. And you're totally correct. I think the issue that social media was. I hate to say it. It's a big difference from social media compared with the other one of the yesteryears, based on the impact. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not 100% correct. That's why I say I could agree with you, yet at the same time I can disagree. It's like a balancing scale. There's some con to it, there's some pro to it. The
Of
issue
course,
with social
anything
media,
in life is
I know,
give
but
and take.
here where it is very, very critical. Social media, it's almost doing 2 things at the same time. It's doing a lot of good, and at the same time doing a lot of bad, whereby it's hard to say where to draw the line at. That's the issue. You have this school. We have what's going on banned school ban on phone during the school hours. The reason why they're doing that
Mm.
to it, to have kids more focused on their education. And
And
they
that's
didn't
not
have
happening either. You know that.
no. They would. I'm talking about public school and charter school. They snatching phones. There are teachers need to get an extra. They had to get an extra drawer or get a plastic container for all the phone they're being snatched.
Well, a friend of mine who's a teacher right now, she told me they're not allowed to take their phones away from them anymore.
Where New York City?
Yeah, they're not. They get in
No,
trouble to doing that.
no. They pushed the ban recently. They let it be known if the phone
From
is
what I'm
no.
saying to you, I'm not saying I'm right. What I'm hearing through teachers, friends of mine, they are technically not allowed because parents are flipping the fuck out when they take the phones because sometimes they don't get it back.
Here what's going on. They passed this thing before the school year started this year in New York City, and they made it clear nationwide within New York City. They remain dictated to all public school and charter school. I went to my son and my daughter orientation. They made it crystal clear when you are coming into the school, you go sign your phone on and they'll put it in a container where they'll keep the phone and everything. If they catch you in the class with your phone, they have every right. They made it a law in New
So,
York City
from
and New
what
York
I
State.
understand, David,
And I understand your thing, but here where the
hang on,
problem comes
hang on.
from.
I'll
Hold
tell
on,
you what the reason
let me
behind what
break it
I'm
down.
saying.
No, I what you're saying, but I was there. I'm a parent. This is why I can speak on this. Being there, hearing what the principal said, what being given to them by the state legislator, they made it crystal clear. If any parent have an issue about it, they need to reach out to their local representative and explain to them why, or get a power. Because otherwise, if they find the student with the phone in the classroom, disrupting the classroom, two things can happen. Either phone get taken from them, or that child gets suspended. Because they made it
Mm.
clear, they put on all the local news, mind you, on WPIX 11, it was on Fox News, it was on Channel 7, it was on Channel 4, it was on Channel 2. God was one individual or one group of, they made it crystal clear. And me being a parent
So, from
who
my
had to go through
understanding,
the
David, hang on a
orientation,
second.
yeah,
Hang on. From my understanding, they need their phones. God forbid, is a shooting in school, they can call
That's
the
a problem.
authorities. That why they're
and
not allowed to take their phones anymore. From my
I know
understanding,
that.
like even if Alicia was on here right now, she will back me up on that. They are not in any shape, way, or form allowed to touch the phone. They can tell them to put it away. If the phones are out, they have to send them down to the principal, and they handle the problem from there. That's
And
from what I was told. If
I
I was
hear
a
you.
parent, I'll be honest with you. If my kids got taken his phone away, oh, that teacher's job is gonna be on the line. I'll be honest with you. My attorney's coming down with me, and I'm gonna hell fucking loose. And
And I
you
will
know
tell you
how
this.
crazy I get.
I will tell you that
Mm.
you better to look it up to date now because it was all over the news and they said it very crystal clear. The school counselor said it clear as day. When they were mentioned on the news, if you go to your child's school orientation, they're telling all parents the same exact thing that was told to them by the New York City, New York State government, what going to happen. And here what the problem they said. If a parent has a problem with how school is regulated, phone use in the classroom when it has been made known, and this what they're going to do going forward, and they made it law, keyword LAW, law. What they're saying, the teacher are protected. You can sue all you want, but and they say this was made known to you on the start of the school year or 2025, and you refuse to abide by it, and you have a problem, then NYPD have a right to arrest you on the spot. So this is not about what you think. This is being documented. They broadcast that bad boy more than 2 to 3 before the school start of this year or 2025. I'm a father who went to my son high school orientation. My son would tell you that. And I went to my daughter middle school orientation. What I had to hear the second time that made it crystal clear. You can no one's above the law, either you like it or you don't. If you have a problem whereby you want your child to hold their phone while they're in class and they say by law it's no longer allowed, then You're asking your child to be suspended or be expelled from the school, and there's nothing.
But I think you need a little bit more nuance, David, though, because when you say by law, I mean, there's very few states that they're going to enforce that. I mean, school boards, individual school boards make their own rules, or at least they're given the leeway
And that's what I
to
thought.
make their own rules. So certain school boards, they're going to be like, yes, no phones. Some may push back. They vote on these things. That's why you have boards, and they vote on it. They have the board meetings where parents come and give their
And
pros and cons of why
and
they
you're
should move
correct.
forward and why they shouldn't. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the board to vote. And again, you can have different towns, different municipalities and whatnot may have different rules when it comes to that. But I don't think there's anything, certainly not on a state level, that's been defined yet, let alone a national level. Now we got to see what's going to go on because again, obviously, and again, not to get political, but obviously with the Department of Education being where that is right now, and if you're going to give more local control to these school boards to make these kind of decisions, you may have to just take it on a case by case basis. So I'm not going to say what Sparta's saying is not true. That in some places, some parents are going to be like, no, we're not. We want our kids to have our phones, and it's going to come down to it. And that's why you vote. You elect people on these boards. I mean, my town, we got school board elections. I just voted Sunday. So again, you vote for people who advocate for the positions that you want. And so you're going to have cases where some school districts like absolutely not. You're not taking my kids' phones. Some it's like, yeah, they want it. It's like some states are dry. Some counties like when I was at the mall on Sunday, Bergen County is a blue is like they have like a blue Sunday, which means you can't even be open on Sunday.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And they're the only county in New Jersey that still has that rule in place. Now, the American Dream Mall, they're pushing back. They're violating the in fact, there's a big lawsuit because the mall is saying, look, it's essential for us to stay open. And so we're going to be open on Sundays. Bergen County is pushing back because they think, okay, well, now again, these laws go back to 1787. And like I said, every county in the state has gotten rid of it except Bergen County.
And there's a reason why behind it. There had to be a reason behind it. Why did they get rid of it?
Yeah. But it's interesting because Sunday, that's a cool day for the Jews. So there was so many Ashkenazi Jews at the mall. I never saw that many Ashkenazi Jews in one place. And one of the reasons why is because the mall is open on Sunday, and obviously because they're going to have their Sabbath on Friday and their Saturday activities. That Sunday, yeah, that's a party for them. So they
But
come out.
the thing is,
They
throughout
yeah.
July and August, with all over the local news, like round the clock circulation, and me and Pam were talking about it. What this all about? They had it in New York City. They made it clear. Mayor even talked about it. What's going to happen? Even the governor was speaking on this. I was like, okay. I didn't say nothing about it until I got to my son and my daughter's school and we brought up again. So they're
Yeah.
making it clear we got to follow the law. I was like,
right. But I'm just saying I'm just saying you and Peter are not wrong. Both of you are right because it's going to depend on where you live, and again, but it just shows you like social media. It seems to be it's taking the fall for a lot of the craziness in society.
there you go.
We're afraid of the social media and what it's going to do to our kids. We want to take kids away from it, but we can't because we got to worry about school shootings.
And they did,
I mean, if that
and
doesn't tell you
and
just
what
how
they were
messed
saying
up
about
things are, right?
a lot of people,
We can't
what a lot of people were saying.
we can't take one issue and just deal with it because we got all these other things that we simply don't have the moral courage to address.
So they would,
How
so they, what
about
they were saying in New York City, they want to push where we don't hire more police officers to be near the school district around the town they're in school. So this way there'll be some kind of deterrence. Which my son charter school, I would see maybe 2 or 3 in different areas, like they rotate among themselves. What I understand that by having get a chance to go to all 5 boroughs, unless it's my job to do that, I can see it, I can tell. Some
it may not
some
even be a
school,
borough issue.
some
You can
school,
have different school boards within a
I
borough.
know in New York City, some school have armed policemen in the school on purpose. Because there's another department within the NYPD that have school safety. You understand the school safety program, which in New York City, that's run by NYPD. Some of the schools have armed school safety, some don't. It depends on which school considered the most troublesome school. The school the most troublesome,
Mm.
I hate to say that I've been there because I had to deliver my computer back then. Not only they have the armed school safety, they got metal detector, they got
Mm.
scanner. So it's like you know how you go to the airport, you gotta take off your shoes and put it in the
Mhm.
scanner and throw your bag into the scanner.
Unfortunate, yeah.
New York
Mm.
City is known for that. There are a lot of high schools to
Yeah.
this day.
Now, has there ever been a school shooting in New York City that you were aware
I
of?
know about a bunch of school stabbing, but shooting, when you have police,
Yeah.
when you have people scanning you, I was in high school when it first started back in
So
1992.
here's my personal opinion, as a gun fan, military fan, and a safety fan. I think scanners should be in an old school mandatory. Number one.
Mhm.
Two, we have all these veterans unemployed. I think they should be security guards at schools, because who do you want to shoot back at these guys who are shooting at our kids? Active, retired military, because they know how to take these guys down. Simple. There a lot. We have a lot of homeless and unemployed veterans who looking for work, and I think,
Mhm.
I spoke to a lot of veterans who unemployed. Like, if they had opportunity to work in schools, be security guards, armed security guards, they would do it on a heartbeat. And if the shootings happen in their school, most likely they won't pass most fun lobby. They will eat lead before anything happens.
And here's the thing, I'm glad you said I totally agree with that mindset. But here what's tricky about New York City. If there ever was this gun shooting that took place, it's more gang related than about mass shooting. Meaning that a rivalry going on and it's always a particular bad school. It'll be a middle school or a high school. And all my year being to all the schools in New York City, I've seen certain bad school or certain bad district, the school have metal detectors. They got the wand. They had the scanner machine. There's one school not too far from Coney Island. To this day, they haven't removed the scanner. It will be two lines, one for the girls, one for the boys. When you're coming in, they will make you, I'm serious, this is shoe. Take off your shoe, put it in the bin, take off your belt, put it in the bin. You put your bag in there, and you walk to the scanner. This is every single day, Monday through Friday. There's the reason why it's like a deterrent because while that's going on, the cops are there. So who will be dumb enough to bring a gun into the school, knowing that
There are a
when
lot
it
of dumb
take off
kids,
the
bro.
scan, huh?
There are a lot of dumb people who will try, but they won't go far. But again,
I know only a few
here's
who
the
did, and
issue. Here's the other issue that what you're saying with the cops at schools, because one of the local schools around here that have the Prisking, Mount Pocono West is right next to the Prisking. I mean, literally, you can cross the field and there you're at it. Less than a 10-minute walk. The the salary for the cops are not the greatest in the world. Let's be honest. We all know that. So that is comes the issue. Like, are they not many people want to say, like, when we grew up, like, hey, what do you want to be grow up? I want to be a cop. Most kids don't say, I don't want to be a cop. I want to be a freaking gamer or a YouTuber or anything else but that.
no.
Yeah, now, but if you take these guys who are retired military, they did 20 years in the service, and coming out, things will be completely different.
And this is why I always tell every city, every town are never gonna be the same. We can't compare one with another. New York City is one that I have to think there are too much police officer in the city already as it is. Because it's hard for you not to walk 3 or 4
I'm gonna
blocks.
push back on that, because hang on, because my cousin is a retired cop from New York City. Remember that?
Hmm.
And he said how many cops they have, they're still understaffed because how big of the area and how popular the city is. You have, let's say, I'm gonna throw a number out there, like say, one cop to 100 people. That numbers are not adding up. You might see a lot of them, but like for example, a couple years back, about 15 years ago, my car got broken in. It says the cops who saw they were passing by, they said, listen, we cannot write a report here because this is not our area, our section to patrol. We have to call it in.
Not based on printing. I know there's a printing jurisdiction going on.
It's not
I
only a
understand
person.
that.
They were their persons was in the area, but they were supposed to be, let's say area B, C, or whatever, how they break it down, right? So that's the issue. But
Like I
again,
said, that jurisdiction.
yeah.
Like I
So
said,
that's a whole different conversation, of course. But let's get into our final thoughts. Dave, you go first. Paul second. Mariana third.
social media. Where will you be if we didn't have you? I don't know. Had more fun, more marriage, less breaking up relationship, less drama, less crash out, less airing out. There's a lot I can say about social media. And the great thing about social media, you can promote your product, you can sell across the state line, you can sell across the country, you can do all kind of things. It had its bad, it had its pros, it had its cons. The only issue is social media is a very unique, dynamic tool of today's society that both sides are trying to figure out how to manage. I'll tell you that right now. Is it bad? Yes. Is it good? Yes. Is it great? I cannot say it. If it's a worst thing, no, I cannot say that either. As a tech guy, I will say this. Look at your own experience and how you feel to it. If it makes you a whole lot of money, if it drives your family crazy, hey, it's up to you. All I'm saying, trend likely, do your homework, be well educated about it, and look at the pros and cons and see how you can navigate within your own family, your own household. Because believe me, it's not easy. It is not. And to all the grandpas and the grandma on social media, leave social media and hang out with your fellow grandpas and grandma in your age group. That's your new social media. Leave the phone alone. Stop trying to look at these young folks. They're trying to steal your money. Damn, what's wrong with you? That's my final thought.
Well, look, I mean, for the past 50 years, parents have let television raise their kids and video games raise their kids. And we've let, I guess, the internet and social media raise the kids also. And now we're complaining about the sort of the monster that we created. Um, I think, as far as, I don't think there is a government appeal or sort of an appetite to really take this on. As I think David made the point earlier, if you look at just the age of most senators and those in Congress, they just don't know about this thing at all. So until you get some people who they either elect or get, real experts who really know how to tackle some of these issues and start to listen to some of their ideas, like I said, possibly setting some age limits, possibly doing something with the devices themselves that you can put some age restrictions on these phones. I think that it would be healthy to set age limits on social media sites or certain just websites, just period, that you shouldn't just be able to go to any website or whatnot. I think there needs to be some restrictions on that. And people may cry, freedoms and rights and whatnot. But again, just like you need to be 16 to get a permit and 17 to get a driver's license, I see no reason why we can't have especially if the issue is public safety, which I thought is what we're talking about here. That you can certainly put those type of measures in for the good of the society. Now, as far as not wanting to take devices from kids and whatnot in schools and whatnot, again, we messed that up because again, especially in these southern states, and I know I've debated Peter on this many times on gun rights and whatnot, but a lot of these mass shootings are happening in the southern and in these midwestern states. Um, and where they have, free gun laws and everybody's supposed to be strapped up, but people aren't safer necessarily in these in these particular areas because of their access to guns. And I have my own views on that. But to get back just to the social media topic, I think ultimately, again, people need to be responsible for your actions. And you can use social media to stay connected. I mean, I wouldn't be on this panel tonight if it wasn't for social media. I mean, knowing to be able to meet the people that you meet on social media in person so you can break bread and have relationship, I think it's a great way to build strong relationships if you use it properly. I know several people I work with, they met their wives through dating apps, even though people say, oh, no, you can't meet someone on dating apps. Well, I know several people that I work with that they met their significant others through those platforms. So again, is it the platform that's bad, or or what are you doing as far as the screening process to make sure that you're meeting people of quality, uh, uh, you know, and doing things the right way. You're still going to have to meet up, you know, in order to make certain things happen, and ask the right questions when you're meeting people. So is like I said, overall, I think it's been a positive for people, for knowledge and understanding, uh, uh, connecting. I think it's been a net positive, but I do recognize some of the issues, and certainly, like I said, for kids, I don't think they need to be exposed to too many things too early. I think parents need to have some control over that. I think the meets the tech companies and the government and whatnot. I think they need to come to something that makes sense. And I would like to see if Europe does, because I know there is a proposal in Europe. I would certainly like to see how they do it. And maybe that could be a test for us. If there's some success that can be shown from the European model that we can somehow put in place here, I would love to see that. But yeah, there's risk in everything. Back in the day, imagine going on a blind date. I remember the days when there was ads in the paper, personal ads, and you met somebody. That's pretty risky. Or you had a mailbox that you called into and met somebody. That's pretty risky. Um, you can't avoid risk. Um, but at all times, you need to apply some wisdom and common sense. So that's all I got.
Well, so social media pros and cons. I mean, regardless, um, if it wasn't for social media, I wasn't able to connect my relatives from overseas, which is is a blessing because without it, it's impossible because I have relatives in Europe in order to connect, and I have them on Facebook in order to to see make sure they're okay and everything. Without that, I don't think I'll be able to talk to them. That would be crazy. Otherwise, we use those old-fashioned phone cards, which doesn't, I don't. I'm assuming it still exists, which I'm kind of surprised, but it's more like in a New York thing. But anyways, we had, we had to have our limits. Like I have my limits when I'm on, social media, either when I Facebook or Instagram, whatever the case is, you have to, have a limit, but also um kids, because I have a soft heart for kids that you have they have to have a limit, and also you don't want kids to engage with stranger danger, whatever the case is, because parents need to safeguard their children because you don't know who you talk to. Can somebody could pretend to be somebody, something that, a fake agent, and you find out this is not the person, and then the parents have to get involved. So parents, please protect your kids and watch what your kids go on, no matter what social media outlet it is. If it's either Facebook or Messenger and all this going on, you have to watch your kids, especially those who are like 13 and under, because this is it's a scary world, I will say. um but it's as I say, you have the pros and cons, and I mean there's certain things I need for in order to contact with my relatives. Also get vital information. Let's say go into a restaurant, if they have a good reviews or bad reviews, like a 4.8 or the highest 5.0, whatever the case is. If it's a low rating, I'm like, forget about going in, step into that type of restaurant. As I say, it's a blessing, and it's whatever the case is, but I can't say it's all bad, but just have to use it wisely. And of course, be careful how taking pictures. Like, do not take a picture of your front of your house with a number in it, and somebody could do a Google map search on it. That's the last thing you need. And then you have a stalker in front of you. So we have to be very cautious, and and don't let it, you need it in a way to promote business savvy, whatever the case, what you want to do. if it's being an inspired cook or be you know, exercise guru, whatever the case is. It's just, you know, something that, you know, we have to use, you know, because without that, I don't know how we able to, you know, to do things now, I will say. But other than that, that's my intake for, you know, for social media.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, what is
Thanks
David?
for bringing it. I just want to say one more thing, if I could.
Yeah.
And thank you, Marianne. You just brought it up. If I would say that there is a negative, and it to me, it is probably a big negative. Pete, you might want to do this for another show.
Mm.
Is news. I think it's been terrible for news. And maybe we could talk about that in another, you know, have another show block on that or whatever. But she just reminded me of that. Journalism in particular, I think it's been had a very detrimental effect on journalism. And I was thinking more in terms of social meeting people and whatnot, but information and news, yeah, horrible. But that's another show.
Yeah, go ahead,
Let
David.
me add this. I'm glad we had this conversation. In that part, we should have another show for that. But I want to throw it out to anyone who watched the show. Where were you affected during the mobile device era when you had the beeper, the BlackBerry device, the Sidekick? Before we got to the smartphone era, please leave your comment and let us know what impact it had on you, either negative or positive, and what social media platform that you were a part of that it had an impact on your life, either be negative or positive. Because I want us to come back to this show, look at the comment, and see where the direction it takes us. Because this is a conversation that I believe is more to it than just one show alone. That part by journalism is a huge impact. We need to have a show on that at a later date. But please, if you watch this, listen to the conversation, ask yourself this question. Where were you at what age were you an impact, either be negative or positive by this social media influence? Either from the mobile devices I had mentioned before, which is BlackBerry, Sidekick before the smartphone era. Did it from like MySpace, Black Planet, Magenta Planet, Asian Planet, Color Club, name it, put your comment, either negative, and tell us how it impact your life. So we can have that conversation, go back and look at what people say and say, you know what, maybe there's more to it than we thought it was. Because the next show we get a chance to talk about journalism being affected by social media, that is another factor itself alone.
Mm-hmm.
And as a parent, Mr. Bennett, a parent, we know what social media do to our household if we're not careful, if we're not protecting your household from the younger mind, because that will be another conversation. So we need some educator, not only Alicia, some other educators as well who knows and understand the impact from an educator point of view, pros or con about it. We'd like to hear from them and see maybe we'll have another show on that one. That's
All
my
right.
highly suggestion on
So
that one.
Paul was right about one thing also. So if it wasn't for the YouTube world, me and David and Paul would have never met. And me and Paul broken bread several times. Me and David broke only twice, but you know, we had more timing, obviously. They became my new best friends, you know, believe it or not, because of this network, of the social media, of this stuff. It's not all negative in social media, there's a lot of positive too. But unfortunately, it's more negative than positive. But let's try as a group, as a network, to spotlight the positive versus the negatives. I think we all can agree on that.
Shout out to Lady Nabor. Glad to see y'all here because it was a very good conversation we had out here. I'm glad she was active in the chat because I didn't get to look at it, but it was a very deep conversation to put our mind over. I'm thinking we need to come back maybe a few weeks from now. We get all the comment on the show because there's a lot to speak about this.
Mm-hmm.
One
So,
show is not enough.
very fast, I do a schedule update tomorrow. Wally and David will be talking about. David, you want to pronounce this guy's name? I can't even pronounce it.
What's his name again?
Kesuhikuos, the
What?
I can't
ladies and gentlemen,
you.
I'm not slaughtering the name. Please don't cut my head off, okay?
I slaughtered. I can't pronounce it. Has his take on Dragon Ball Daima,
Oh
the
yeah,
creator
that's
of
the
Dragon Ball.
that's the editor of Akira Toriyama. He said something and it became a viral and huge moment because it created a conversation on both ends of the spectrum. Either he should have not left and would have made some correction on the franchise, or him being out there allows certain deterrent to happen in place. Because recently, I don't think you noticed, they won the lawsuit, so everything come back under one house now. There's no more divisions, so to speak.
All right.
So we'll talk about it later, but we will speak
And
on
on
that topic.
Thursday, we Paul and Coach Trey will be talking about home ownership versus real estate, what you need to know before buying. You want to touch any base, or you just wait to
Now
Thursday?
we'll just wrap it up because I'm still waiting
All right.
some for materials as
Okay,
well.
cool.
But yeah, we'll get into
So
that
on
conversation.
Friday, Sean will have his show, and on Saturday, two of my favorite movies that came out about the same time. The reason they're my favorite because at the time in our world, we were kind of beefing with Asia at the time, I believe, or North Korea. I can remember. So these movies are similar but different. Yes, David, I am talking about White House Down versus Olympus Has Fallen. We are going there, and you're going to be there, David. Yeah, that is going to be a fucking battle and a half.
Paul, you gonna be there too?
Honestly, I haven't seen. I'll see if I can do a crash watch of the. I haven't seen either one of those. So
If you
I
go on, actually, what I do sometimes, if I don't have time to watch, I go on YouTube and I put them in, and it gives you a short version of it really fast and can remind
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's what
can,
I
I
do.
can, I can find those. So I'll
the
try to
reason I'm
get.
Yeah.
saying
I'll
that
get
my nerve brain need a break sometimes. I've been going through the deep thinking all the time, connect everything because this topic was, you know, that I was bringing out things from the past that will consider part of social media. No one remember the sidekick. The sidekick was a huge thing back then, and I hate it because
Hey,
the
we're
sound it
going
would
to talk
make it.
about stuff on soon. So that show on Saturday is going to be a really good battle, I think, because both movies are similar but different at the same time. But which one is more fiction? Which one is more fake? That's what we're going to do. And do you remember we're doing a gray area on Saturday on Sunday entrance?
I think we're gonna go back to it's either it's like a war theory or something to that effect.
Yeah, I don't have the list in front of me. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
So, and next week, I'll come back on Thursday, Tuesday. We'll be talking about. David's gonna like this one. Fake people, smile, lies, and hidden agenda.
You telling me to punch somebody in the face, really?
Hey, yeah, I'm not bailing your ass out. So, except that, Groot, any last words?
Last word. I return on the invite for Black Boomer. Any content creator who want to get in the comments concerning what dealing with the Dragon Ball Daima and the Dragon Ball franchise, you are welcome to come tomorrow. We will drop down the link if you want to come on the panel and discuss about it because it's becoming a very big deal concerning the franchise since it's worth over $30 billion and it's tied to the Japanese economy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big
Mr.
deal.
President, last words, and once again, happy birthday.
Appreciate it. No, I'm good here.
Ariana?
See you guys Thursday.
No, I'm good.
All right. One final word from me. I don't know if you guys heard. I
wait a
was you
minute.
guys know I'm a big shit. Go ahead.
Mr. President, do you have a birthday cake with Marilyn Monroe coming out?
Sorry.
What?
I have a
I
birthday.
said, do you have a birthday cake with Marilyn Monroe coming out? Get it? John F. Kennedy, Mr.
No.
President, birthday cake, Marilyn Monroe.
I have my Marilyn Monroe, and she's black, and been with her in almost 30 years. So I'm good. I'm good here, bro.
Great answer.
So
Great answer.
over the weekend, hang on, David. I got some serious. All right. Obviously, got a lot of people know I'm a big Jet fan. One of my favorite players, Nick Mangold, passed away over the weekend. With health complication. I want to announce that he was one of the most highlighted Jet players that I remember from in my era, at least.
Solid player.
Solid player. I was surprised when they released him. I was disappointed when they released him. I was very happy that when they put him in the Hall of Fame. When I heard him, he passed. It literally broke my heart because, like people say, he was the most nicest guy you ever can see. but he was a beast on the field.
And
Our
another
prayers.
note. Bray White father have been sent to the hospital right now recently because of he had got to that state whereby he had to be monitored because he's going to, when they put you in a hospital, that means one or two things. At time of day, he's more likely at that last
Who?
final stage. No, Bray Wyatt, his
Yeah.
father, Mike, has been
Okay.
admitted to the hospital. That's another note I found out recently.
All right, so we got two whammies in the end. I just want to end the show. Unfortunately, there's no. It sucks when we have to announce this stuff sometimes, but
Yeah.
it is
This
part
guy,
of being
yeah,
in the network.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this guy nuts that
Go ahead.
he could be a Hall of Famer. 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All Pro. Yeah, yeah. He was
I
special.
thought he was already a Hall of Famer.
No,
I know they retired. I know they retired his jersey. I know that for
he
sure.
retired in 2016, which means he would have been eligible in 2022, but he's currently not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as of yet. But he may start to get on some ballots, especially in
Yeah,
in
I
light of
won't be
this.
surprised if everybody start flooring his name out this year or next year or something like that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as a network, it's sad when we do have to announce this. But as a network, we have to announce this stuff. I am shocked when I heard it because he was one of the players. Like, oh man, Nick Mangold, I had his jersey. He was my goat. The goat for me. You know what I'm saying? My Mount Olympus player. But yeah, that's what I would say on that.
That's why I would just say, that's why again, live for today. I mean, the guy was 41 years old. So think about that. So the fact that if you're still here, if you still have life, treat every day special, treat it cherish every day that you have on this earth because you just don't know when it's going to. You're not going to have it. So
and he passed on Saturday. With some health complications. Didn't get details into it. I haven't seen details. I really don't want to see details because I'm like, that guy rest in peace. So accept that, guys. As always, I am the Spartan. He is Black David. He is the birthday oldest president in the world, Mr. Bennett, our witch doctor. As always, guys. Out. No, Jesus, David. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Have a good night.